And there's a quick load into the game. So these guys not messing about for this one. And we are going to have our second game here. LGD currently up 1-0 here, starting out in the blue side up against IG, who'll be on the red side for this one. What are you excited to see, Papa?
I mean, a poke comp is sometimes a really beautiful thing. I mean, it's frustrating as all hell to play against, but if it's really well thought out and acted, there's just so little recourse to it. And I'm kind of enchanted by this idea of having Cho'Gath as a surrogate for Trundle. Trundle's kind of fallen away in terms of being a competitive pick, but Cho'Gath's definitely come to the fore as we see the very, very speedy 405 base MS Cho'Gath here.
Yeah, movement out from level 1 as well. Cho'Gath, as always, loves to be speedy. Has plenty of speed built into his runes of masteries, I'm sure. And looks like IG may be looking for more level 1 action.
That is all the movement speed masteries build.
That is all the things?
Yes.
All the speed. Alright, so Cho'Gath...
Well, Janna accepted.
Oh, that's true. No Janna, sadly. I miss Janna. Hope she comes back a bit more. But it is nice to see Cho in place of Trundle. I also miss Trundle. I guess that means champions that aren't played anymore. That says a lot about me, I think. Anyway, it looks like no real level 1's going to happen here. IG thinking about it, but I think they're going to back off at this point. I'll just introduce everybody while we don't seem to have any particular craziness happening on. Kick off on the IG side this time. To start, we've got Xiao Xiao here, going to be playing Leona in support there for IG. Over here we've got Jax being played by PDD up in the top lane. Satai is going to be playing Ryze for the mid. Ezreal here, the AD carry, going to be played by Kid. And of course Illusion, last but not least, in the jungle there on Nocturne. Over on the LGD side, they've swapped sides of course, so Bug going to be playing on Jungle Cho'Gath for this one. Tyrant is on TF. Jace is going to be played by Senu, and down the bottom we're going to have Pyle on Sona and Victor on Corki to round out their lineup. So, you know, pretty some nice picks here from both teams. As we've said, talked a little bit about the compositions here in the draft. It looks like we aren't going to have anything too crazy to kick it off, and in fact we've got standard lanes for this one.
One thing that was out of the norm that I think you might have missed if you were going through the lineups was that Tyrant on Twisted Fate here made sure to stand directly on top of the wolf and share big wolf experience, so he will have the slight experience edge over Ryze here.
Yeah, I did notice that. I mean, the junglers don't really need the experience from that camp early, and it's just mainly to clear it so they can get it again if they want to, just so they come up a little bit quicker. And, you know, a bit of early, it essentially gets you the camp again a bit faster, which accelerates your experience goal by a little bit, but it doesn't, you know, guarantee that you'll get a quick level 3 or anything like that. You know, you'll get level 2 from just blue no matter what.
Whereas getting mid, like getting extra level mid is base stats, it's an extra spell. In a short lane where you're always going to be in range usually to land some spells, it can be really awesome.
Yeah, I think it was a cute little move actually from LGD. So, you know, nice to see little things coming out with that kind of team interplay in the jungle. We've seen, you know, a lot of crazy jungling so far already. I mean, level 1 last game, IG, you know, gave a buff to Olaf and then he took some more jungle, so it was all sorts of craziness happening there. It looks like Illusion looking in here for maybe a gank or maybe just
coming through a ward though.
Yeah, he's been spotted already. So I think TF should know here that Illusion has been spotted in the rush.
TF has armor runes as well, so that gank has to be even more aggressive to get any real kill out of it.
That's a nice little mix up there as well on the runes. Looks like Cho is here as well, waiting for Nocturne to go in, but both junglers just backing off there. And things will continue as normal in the mid lane. I mean, Illusion really seemed to want to do a bit of counter juggling there. Down the bottom actually as well. Xiao Xiao's taken a lot of damage already there on Leona, but Corki's quite low, and so is Sona. So we could have fireworks down in the bottom lane to kick things off very, very shortly here. Lots of potions being chugged. None left for Sona. We got 1 for Corki. Ezreal, where are you? There we are, 1. And Leona's got actually quite a few potions, 3 more in fact, and she's out of wards with 0 boots. So obviously looking to be quite aggressive here in this lane.
Well, there's just so many wards down the map. Level 1. Look at this. There's 3 wards just in the top river, which is a lot of wards.
Yeah, there's one there.
So much complete mission vision available.
Yeah, there really is, and I mean, Nocturne is just having trouble getting these ganks off. Last game, you know, Illusion was ganking very, very early on and really being successful with those, but now he's snuck past all the wards, whether he knows it or not. Jace actually has no idea that he's here, but although the wards have dropped, so maybe he's a little bit afraid.
Jace saw him move slightly upwards from mid,
true.
So he has an inkling, but definitely doesn't know for sure.
Still quite far forward here, but, you know, just doing what Jace wants to do, just come up, do the minions from long range with the EQ combo in cannon form, and then just go back. But Illusion, he can set something up here. He's got double buffs. He should have fear here as well. Yes, he does. Yep. So just waiting for the right moment, I seems.
He was really hoping that he would go in for that last hit. Just then, I think that would have been the impetus. But for now, just lying in wait.
Yeah, mid lane instead though. Gonna get ganked to be potentially.
You've got to be a bit worried about mid lane because look, from even though it's only level 5. Rise quite happy, Z-Tai here, quite happy to be pushed in on, and that will afford plenty of room.
No, he face checks the bush. Senu now, yeah, takes a little bit of damage to Fear though, and the slow good, the exhaust comes in there as well, and PDD with a great counter-strike stun. And Illusion, yet again, there's first blood.
And just so much patience from Illusion that he was counting that bush for maybe 40 seconds, but eventually Seno got the old Garen, is he in the bush, is he not? Inkling face checked it and met his demise.
Well, it's one of those things, 40 seconds is a long time to be camping a lane, and you just have to think, I saw him come up, he's here now, he can't still be here, right?
Rise has to blow his flash because of the Cho'Gath gank down mid, so now TF again just pushing in as much as he can, trying to start exerting that global pressure.
The tie really wants to do a bit of damage here, but Bug's actually coming back, and that's a great stun. The Rupture going to set up as well, and that should be a very clean kill there for LGD. And Tyrant there picks it up. Very, very, very nice.
So confident was Cho'Gath that he left the last hit for Twisted Fate.
Always nice. I mean, Rise with no flash. Can't really get out of it. He's very slow, and without a flash, he's kind of a sitting duck in mid, I feel. I mean, he can be fairly tanky. Does a lot of damage. And
I think Twisted Fate and Rise are fairly similar in that regard. They're both champions with fairly low base stats. I mean, Rise obviously going to build tankier, though he's gone straight for the tier here. But if things don't go well on their flash down, they're kind of sitting ducks.
Yeah, we are seeing the tier out from Rise, as you mentioned. This is personally something that I don't really like, but I don't know what else you can do. And we mentioned before, Rise is a champion that has now, after after the initial rework and so many other nerfs, he doesn't. Where does he fit now? And you kind of have to get T because you're not going to do any damage, but it just leaves you so much more vulnerable for quite a long period of time.
Oh, very unfortunate ward from Zeta here. That's not going to see the brush. Only will see a small amount of vision there.
Ugh. I don't know if that was intentional, but yeah, not quite.
Your heart always drops when you ward like that because you knew what you were going to do. Like you knew what you wanted to do, but a couple of pixels away from perfection.
A lot of damage out into Rise as well as the red card and the wild cards come in for that. Or red card, I should say. Oh, up top looks like Jax, is bleeding there. PDD, a little bit of trouble, but Illusion coming in.
Well, look at Cho'Gath. He's speedy as an understatement.
He's boots and mobility oracles. Yeah, there's the build. Nice spell shield there from Illusion. Shrugs the Rupture off. I think the Feral's Grim as well also got shrugged off in there. So quite a nice little bit there. But yeah, this Cho'Gath bug, he really just wants to be aggressive here. He's got very fast boots mobility into oracles. He is now, the fastest he can be without a Janna on his team, I guess. So these ganks are going to get very, very scary. All the move speed. Oh, and PDD again. Kind of bleeding from the poke there as Senu just pokes back and forth. Illusion, yeah, just going to have to take this line over. And I was like, yeah, thanks for the experience. You need to go back and get some potions because you're going to have a very fun time. And Bug comes back now. Maybe they can get Nocturne. Oh, I think he wants PDD. He's looking for him. Doesn't find him. Oh, never mind. We're going to have a dive in the top lane. Tara comes in as well, and TF starts tanking it up. There's a spell shield up to stun with a thundering blow, and all the damage comes in. And that's going to be easy. Clean up their own. Bug, of all people, picks up the kill there. Feasts off a minion, and down the bottom, Leona in trouble.
Speeding over as fast as he can. He's not very fast, but he's trying.
Continued damage down there in the bottom from LGD. Flash forward from Victor. So close there as the Eclipse just keeps Leona alive. And Kid, True Shot Barrage misses. But Kid still manages to claim it there.
That was a very nice dodge by Victor. I almost feel bad that he had to pay for that with his life anyway.
Yeah, just couldn't quite walk out of the rush in time. Get himself away from that situation. And despite a good amount of aggression there from LGD, very, very close. Get Corky killed there in that situation. Although, they had a lot of kills there back and forth. 2 for 2 now the kill score early on in this game. And LGD actually have quite a gold lead for this early on, I have to say. It's not huge, but it's something. 500 gold, maybe not. The tie there in the middle, taking a little bit of damage.
I was looking at it twice. Am I reading this wrong?
No, I'm just silly. There we go. So the tie going to take a lot of damage. Flash forward from Bug there, and the Ignite from Tyrant cleans him up. So this Cho'Gath so aggressive here from LGD.
I think that's a 21 utility rise, but that flash came up very quick, but still not enough.
Yeah, it might be.
Twisted Fate, one of the best people for... I feel like Cho'Gath, if there's any weakness, is that, with his skill shot need to be hit to get a successful gank, usually. You kind of need setup CC, but I mean, Twisted Fate setup CC is probably like one kind of mini step below Rise in terms of being fantastic to set up ganks.
Yeah, and we often see, when mid laners especially getting picked, because Cho is one of those champions that if you have the CC, even for mid, a lane that's, commonly kind of termed ungankable for a lot of the time, if you can set that up, Cho's follow-up is incredible, as you mentioned there. So
for sure.
TF.
Well, you're knocked up, you're slowed, and you're silenced. I mean, that's almost all the things, right?
Yeah, and all at once as well. You can just chain them all together very, very easily because you can feral scream in midair as well. So you're pretty much guaranteed most of that CC duration. As Solarfur looks down the bottom, tries to find Victor for the stun, but can't quite get there. Now Kid in trouble. TF coming down here as well. LGD coming down the bottom lane. Exhausto and a great paranoia there from Nocturne as Tyrant in a lot of trouble, but he's kiting back and forth, and Cho again in the right place. Tyrant gets Leona, but he's going to go down instead to Illusion. And now Choga could lose his oracles here. He does. Tatai even comes down as well. But a 2-for-2 trade there in the end. Illusion gets a double. But 2 more kills split onto LGD as well. And 5-4 now the score. Still fairly even and a lot of action here in this game. So the gank's kind of working out with the TF there for LGD. But I mean, I think Bug may have put himself a little bit behind there. He's actually got another oracles already. He got Fairy Charm Boost Mobility oracles into Heart of Gold oracles.
It just feels that oracles is what is winning the game. He obviously feels like he needs to keep that lane presence up.
And just look at how fast he is. How we follow Bug out of the base. Oh wow, it's a quick dragon there from IG.
Duo dragon there, Rise. Say what we want about Rise. He's pretty good at taking those neutrals with blue buff.
Yeah, I mean as an AP he does. It's kind of weird to say this, but he just does a lot of standing DPS. He's just spamming.
He was known as the machine gun caster, I believe, was the term they used when he was reworked, and it definitely applies. If he can string those, if he's not mana constrained, he can really string those spells.
Yeah, and he had a blue buff and the tier rocking there as well, so able to really spam out and do a lot of damage to that dragon. So 2-man dragon for IG. They get themselves a little bit of global gold, evening back up the gold just a bit more, but it's 600 gold.
In terms
still
of laning CS,
LGD.
I feel like there's kind of one thing. Well, I mean, Twisted Fate versus Rise is obviously the biggest discrepancy. I'd say that Jace is having some problem with Jax. Oh wow, as we see the CC coming in bottom lane.
Xiaosha in trouble. Bug again out and the feast range is in there, but Xiaosha gonna die to Victor anyway. Cho'Gath
And that's kind of what's affording the CS lead there. When Leona gets behind and can't get tanky or really play aggressively, which, I mean, Twisted Fate actually looking like a beautiful, beautiful pick here for another reason, in that Leona, an all-in champion, an all-in support. She has to go all in to fulfill her role, and then she, at the back of her mind, the whole laning phase, she'll have, oh crap, Twisted Fate could show up next to me at any moment, and that's very scary for a champion who has to go all in.
Yeah, the CS in mid lane is absolutely ridiculous.
And I think Sona disconnected here, which is very awkward.
Pile, yeah, going down there in the bottom lane.
And wow, multiple disconnects here.
Looks like it because we do have the pause coming out as well. So
A summoner has disconnected.
always awkward at a LAN setting when you have a disconnect, but it does happen. And there we are. We see multiple people just leaving the game. I hear a lot of chat. I'm guessing even if I could see it, I couldn't read it. But I'm sure people are a little bit grumpy about that, because that is a bit unfortunate.
That was almost one of those disgusting moments where the Reddit joke came true, because Sona took 2 turret hits and got last hit there.
Ow.
Yes.
That's not good at all. Yeah, so it's very close to the tower there.
There's a lot of chatter going through, which would probably be in Chinese, and also I imagine will be quite strong worded as to Sona dying due to disconnect.
Yes, that is not a good thing. I mean, I don't think it's great. It's hard. It's a hard decision there for admins, because I mean, obviously the players at a LAN setting, if it's an online tournament, it's your own setup, your own rig. Your own internet's kind of your fault if things don't work. Because you need to check these things before your game, make sure everything's stable. But at a LAN setting, when things are provided for you, the one thing you really want is a connection to be nice and stable. And they clearly having a couple of problems at the venue, and that just kind of manifested at the worst possible moment there, as we had a kill as a result. So yeah, here again a lot of chat going on, even though I can't see it. So I'm sure the players are not happy on both sides. In fact, it's never good. You never want to be the guy that ends up with the free kill there, even though it's
one of those things where it's very. There won't be many chances where someone's disconnected in a tournament setting and then go out of your way to kill them. I mean, sometimes it happens, sometimes it falls in your lap and there's not much you can do, but it's going to be a flare point, you'd have to say.
I mean, even in that case, Sona, I mean, just kind of died from disconnecting under a turret incidentally as a result. I mean, if Ezreal could go back, he probably wouldn't have even shot a random auto.
I guess Ezreal could have been the best mannered person ever and just accepted the experience, but if it's not communicated fast, you think maybe it's just a mechanical error.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's just one of those things where maybe Sandra's just trying to get a bit too more aggressive and takes a tower hit. Then, you know, by the time she's taken the
By the
second
time
one...
the second hit's gone down, you've got an auto in, and it's kind of a moot point, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's not much you can do. I mean, again, it's just one of those unfortunate things. So hopefully everybody's internet connection stays nice and stable for the rest of this tournament. I mean, one kill isn't the end of the world, but it still is unfortunate. And I'm sure the players are disappointed, and I would be too if I was them. But hopefully everybody reconnects soon. We can resume our game 2 here, and hopefully all the connections are nice and stable. I guess
We'll
that's...
see if there's any fallout, I imagine, for the next game or something with, yeah, very unfortunate, DC.
Yeah, right. So it looks like maybe the EC coming in now. I guess I've got a little bit of a breather here. We'll check out some of the items that are going in here. We talked a little bit about CS actually. Let's start with that first. So we mentioned mid lane was I believe 20 CS ahead at one point for TF quite comfortably. Now 112 to 91, so not too bad. Rise doing his best he can to try and catch up there. Although 312 to 020 is quite the nice score there for TF kicking it off. 103 for Corki right now to 83 down the bottom. So Corki with a nice little 20 CS advantage there as well, and fairly...
I think Ezreal being partly zoned from the Leona being kept back because of the Twisted Fate pressure.
Absolutely. And up in the top as well, fairly even, 80 to 88. Although Jax...
It feels like Jace can't really duel Jax. I mean, Jax got the really early phage from getting the score involvement and the CS pushing. And although Jace, you know, very hard champion to deny with his long range and his EQ combo, I feel like that snowball has put Jax in a good spot in this lane.
Yeah, and Jax is a champion that certainly does benefit from a lot of snowball as well. So there is that in there. I guess I can't actually tab over to the gold unfortunately because my mouse has been hidden in the spectator mode. Just one of the fun little things that spec mode does every now and then. But I guess what can we tell you? We've checked out CS. So items actually is where we can go next. We've got need to steal our drop boss Katers like you picked. TF was actually one-hitting the caster minions with wild cards as they came in. It was pretty insane. So has
there's always been the old trick of red carding the third melee minion and then queuing through the whole minion wave as it comes if you have enough AP. And if you get that AP quick enough, you can feel like a baller clearing those waves instantly, as long as there's no cannon, of course.
Yeah, but TF is just absolutely munching through them at this point. So Rise doing a good job there trying to keep up in CS. Over on the Rise camp, we've got Sork Shoes plus that tier and have Ruby Crystal as well. I assume that Ruby Crystal is going to become a catalyst, which will either become a Banshee's Veil or a Rod of Ages.
You know what I'd like to see?
What would you like to see?
I'd like to see the one Rise build that actually made me smile and think, which was the Magic Penetration Rise build. Getting the Haunting Guys and a Abyssal, potentially. Because he shreds an obscene amount of magic resist based from his E ability, especially if it bounces twice. So in a 1v1 where your E is bouncing between you and the enemy, with those magic resist items, you get them to 0 so fast. And I think it's just interesting because it's not tier, Catalyst, Rod of Ages, Glacial Shroud situational build.
Not a 40-minute build.
No.
He just needs to just farm and farm and farm for. Phage, as we mentioned, on Jax up there as well, but on the other side there, Jace is Brutalizer plus a Doran, so fairly straightforward there for Jace in there in the top lane. You've got a couple of potions in there as well, including a Mana Potion, just to get a little bit more spam out there for that poke. Corki with a Fade as well, and Ezreal with a Phage, and a Vamp Scepter, and a Doran Slate. And looks like we've got actually a quick Sheen coming out here from Victor. We've actually got a Sapphire Crystal in there, so interesting to not see any Dorans out from Corki, but he does have a Phage, I guess. In fact, I guess it's more interesting to me that Kid does have a Doran's Blade on top of his Phage, because normally we see, like, you know, double Dorans or Phage, not both.
And it's a lot of respect being shown by Victor here, completing the Merc tread so early down the bot lane as we see the game restarting finally.
Alright, so everybody's reconnected. Hopefully the internet is all well and good. Looks like to kick it off, we're going to have Zatai maybe getting caught up by Bug. Good room prison. Oh, great juke out of the option. There's a flash forward from Tyrant. They really want this kill to Zatai. I think he might be dead. There's the piece coming in for the burst. He flashes out of the way, but it's not close enough there, and Illusion gets it, but TF does go down. Sorry, Rise does go down as Illusion comes in, and now Bug in a lot of trouble. Could lose his second Oracles, and there it goes. So Illusion, right place, right time there for that one. And Kid just flashes over the wall aggressively trying to find Victor. But he flashed the wrong way. Oh no, Corki's going to get out there, I think. Oh, never mind. Kid, he was there. Oh,
and if he had orb walked towards Corki there, unbeknownst to him, it would have actually potentially gotten a kill. Very unfortunate there.
Yeah, don't quite know what Kid was thinking, but maybe didn't hear the sound effect.
And the max range Dustspringer took down Twisted Fate, and now if you think about it, although a 200 gold lead for LGD, they are down 2 oracles, so that's a substantial amount of gold. That technically puts them in terms of effective items at least behind here.
Yeah, and Nocturne now, as he's in the mid, you can see the oracles floating above his head as well, doing quite a bit of damage.
Pushing like a crazy man.
Yeah, doing quite a bit of damage out of that tower. Lane ward there is all done for him, using his wriggles, and yeah, now it's his turn to clear out the wards and put some pressure on. Got his
I love that lane ward against Twisted Fate, because it just, gives you that much more. Oh wow, it was just too close to the tower, very unfortunate, but it does give you that extra information on roams.
Unfortunately, yeah, just slightly misplaced there by Illusion, who's camping the Wraiths here, interestingly. Maybe looking for TF to come by and try and take those out. Wonder how long Illusion's going to stay here. He's shown a predilection to do a little bit of the tent pinching. Tent pitching, oh, never mind. Now they're in the mid lane, dive straight forward, and there's a good amount of damage. The snare there as well from Rise coming in, and Tyrant goes down, but a great Rupture there followed by the Exhaust though. And Illusion using that Exhaust to great effect there, just to make sure Cho'Gath didn't do too much. And that was a really nice gank there in the mid lane. As we said, Rise's snare is very, very good, and Nocturne, they're able to set it up there. Just coming in, charging in the mid with his ultimate.
And Nocturne is, wow, I mean, we thought he snowballed last game. Sitting on 1,600 gold, 5-1-1 here, Nocturne. You almost feel like if this was a less serious game, he'd be picking up a BF sword saying, I'm the carry, guys.
It's not entirely out of the question, but we'll see.
It is out of the question, based your time.
You think so?
Yes.
Okay, long sword.
No one does that, only me when I'm trolling.
I do it, but I also am trolling.
Looks like he's going to be picking up the
Hex Trinker.
Hex Trinker here, which is an item I do like on Nocturne as a dive champ, especially without flash. Once he's going in, he's probably not getting out, so an item that gives him a bit of damage, a bit of survivability. It's a pretty good pickup.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you think about itemizing Jarvan, and a lot of people like those hybrid, you know, attack damage plus kind of some tanky stats. They're very cost efficient, which is great on a jungler.
It does definitely feel like Jarvan and Nocturne, to a lesser degree, go for those early game AD survivability items, the Phage, the Wriggles, the Hex Trinker, those items that give you a lot of stats but don't cost that much gold.
Certainly, and those are both junglers actually that you mentioned that really do like to get in there early and be aggressive, so those items really help that cause for them as well. As you see Illusion just hanging out in the top lane, clears out a ward there, so Jace maybe a little bit more careful. Going to clear out this ward as well here in the mid, and so Ty now kind of got the Rise train going. You know, he's got his double crystals up, got Sapphire and the Ruby ready to go, and he's had blue buff for quite a few times. I think the second time in a row now this is his blue buff, and we mentioned in the draft, sorry, that LGD were really wanting to look to try and take away that blue buff, but haven't been able to do so far. So Ty's in fact taking another one, so he must have got the other one off TF in the last exchange there when that was that really nice gank. And when Rice has blue in this situation, and especially when he has levels as well, he can kind of just start going crazy. So maybe. So Ty's Rise.
We'll see one of those super powered rises.
Maybe. I mean, if he comfortably gets to that stage of the game, he's going to be really, really happy. So we'll see. But so Ty has had a pretty comfortable landing phase so far, and he's certainly doing quite nicely. Caught up almost in CS as well, 144 to 133 right now. And there's TF. He's going top, I think. Yep, there we are. PDD gets GFG there as well by Tyrant, and Jax is all but dead after this point. Turns around, does a ton of damage to TF.
Almost strong enough to just duel them down there. That was actually closer than it should have been, because that was a full health Twisted Fate, let's not forget.
Yeah, I think if Jace was any closer to Jax, actually, Jax probably would have leaped on his face and killed him. So a nice showing there by PDD, but really nice roam there from TF using that global pressure. And it's kind of nice to see DFG back again, I guess, because it's, of course, in its super-powered form in this patch.
Now, Nocturne, the other thing about Nocturne, this comp, because remember we were talking about the engage comp versus the poke comp we have here. The danger is if Nocturne gets too far ahead, it's going to be kind of a no-brainer that he'll just dive in, soak up a massive amount of damage, and
oh man, flash forward, great crescendo there from Vile, and now they're going to just jump onto that Sonar, and Kid getting that kill very, very easily. A long-range Zenith Blade in there as well. Victor now exhausted, gets stung with the Q as well. And that's a nice kill there.
Not even the Merc can save them.
No, an Illusion there just picks you up yet another one. Rise though very much caught there, gets absolutely obliterated there by Bug. And now the Cavalry is...
Jack's nowhere to be seen during this battle.
Cavalry has arrived. Goodbye, Leona. There's Jace picks that one up. And now Illusion going to lose his oracles here. Jace with a great amount of poke. And TF there just eats
what
that
a
Nocturne.
Fantastic counter run from Jace there. That acceleration gauge. He got there so quick, and Jax kind of just has to sheepishly pick up his own red and go back to top and try and push something.
Yeah. I mean, just Jace appearing there really tipped the scales there down in that engagement. And it was a good start for IG, but did not end well at the end. In fact, the only kill they got was Corki, who's now back up. So 1 for 3, I think, there in the end.
Jax is really strong at pushing towers, though. He might get this one. In fact, I think quite comfortably he will.
So PDD happily going to push this one out, using that passive to great effect. Swamping down that turret. That's a great sound effect as well. And
The thwomp?
Yeah, the thwomp. Jack just wails on turret. So there we go. There's a turret. 1-1 apiece now in the turret game as well. And looks like
And Jace is going for the what seems to be the standard right now, that really poke-orientated build. He doesn't want to Juku with the champ, trust me.
yeah, he's just like, you know what? I'm just going to poke you from afar. And if I feel like it, if you're low enough, I'll jump in for the execute. Just use my QE. Which is, yeah, been the popular build for a number of months now. Or a month
Rye
or
is
two.
going very, very standard here. The Rod of Ages Tia Sork Shoes early game combo.
Alright, so not going for any sort of the crazy builds we suggested. Instead, just doing what Rise does best, and that's build all the mana. All the mana in the world. I mean, again, this build's very slow. But if Satai can keep going, if his position well in this lane, it seems like he's doing decently. I mean, having both Tyr and Rod of Ages at 20 minutes isn't too bad.
And if it goes long enough, it's another thing that's a kind of a feather in the cap of IG compared to the poke comp, is that he'll be able to wade in after Nocturne and soak up a bit of damage. And they could potentially have 4 soaks in Ezreal this game.
Which would be make life very, very difficult for that carry. I mean,
Yeah, because Nocturne will just dive in. He wouldn't die that fast. All the other tank viewers show up, and Corki and Twisted Fate and this poke comp Jace, the poke items and skill order is probably going to wither. So they have to be careful they don't let this game too late. I think LGD.
Yeah, IG, I think, really do have the advantage in the late game. It's kind of the funny thing, when we used to see a lot more Rise, we would often see like quite a strong bruiser in top, and Jax, I think, certainly qualifies there. Kind of what ends up happening is that you've got 4 just obscenely tanky people. Even Leona isn't that bad. Now in the mid lane, Tyrant going to get maybe taken out here. Illusion dives straight forward, uses the exhaust. There's the Rune Cruiser coming out for Rise. It's going to be a very easy kill, but at what cost? Bug coming in now as well. There's the Beast and a great flash there over the ridge there to clean that one up. Bug's Cho'Gath has been very scary this game, and now in the mid lane, Victor could be in trouble. Rise turns around to do a little bit of damage, but not quite enough there as well. Juking the rupture there very nicely, and a great solo for that from Xiao Xiao to make sure Cho'Gath goes no further.
I feel like Cho has been everywhere this game. He's lost those 2 oracles, which hurts his build a bit. But man, if he hasn't been there for the counter ganks.
Yeah, 4-2 and 6 seemed not a shabby score, despite both times he died, he gave up an Oracle's Elixir as a result, and he's not doing too badly. Boots mobility, double GP10, and now a Glacial Shroud and a Ruby Crystal. He's certainly doing quite well for
I think
himself.
both last game and this game, I think Bug has shown us that his nuance for jungle, you know, his presence, his knowledge of how lanes go, he always seems to be there at the right time.
He does, and now he's a gigantic alien. The Sparrow screaming out the bushes, checking for people. Not going to find anyone. Finds some minions, but decides against them. In the mid lane, more pressure coming out, but Xiao Xiao finds Victor there. Puts down here into Sona. There's the exhaust coming out to Pile. And now the turnaround here as TF comes into the mid lane. That's an easy kill under the support and illusion. He spell shields the first card there, but gets exhausted. He tries to go back into Tatai. Very, very low. Kid comes back in though. Who get a kill here? There's Jax coming down as well. Does a great amount of damage. And that's 2 very clean kills here for IG. Now Jace coming in to try and even the score up. Snipes Tatai there with the acceleration gate combo with the Q. And that may justify any sort of push that IG wanted to do here. Lots of damage being taken there by Jax as well from Jace. And 2 for 2 there in the end, a nice exchange. And again, these teams very evenly matched. They always seem to be in the right place at one point in time or another for a lot of good counter ganks. So
It feels like there's a new hero every 20 seconds or so riding in to pick up a double kill, like Jax did that time and Jace did the previous.
and that's a great indication of just a very well-coordinated, you know, well-experienced team. You don't get the kind of, I need to run right now for my team. Because you played a lot, and you played a lot with your team members specifically. You know how they play, and you have that chemistry down pat. So, I mean, I'm very, very impressed at the levels that these two are bringing out. Even though, you know, we have seen IG before, but not LGD. And LGD being up again, very impressive right now. PDD in a lot of trouble. Thundering Blow, though, an easy kill there as Ignite cleans up the rest of the damage. And that is really something that, this is why Jace has got nerfed. Everybody.
That's why he lost that 150 base damage on the
Thundering Blow.
on the Thundering Blow. It was in full effect right there.
Really was. And Bloodthirster is completed up for Jace as well, alongside his Dorans and his Brutalizer, so he's doing quite a bit of damage. I don't think he's quite there for full stacks. Actually doing quite well, 34 stacks already. Cleared out a lot of minions, and there we go, there's mid-turret. Sona picks up credit for that one. Currently 2 for 1 now in the turret score, and again, it feels like having a kind of a slower back and forth game this time around. The only difference is I think that one team has a clear advantage come late game, and I think that team has to be IG here in this spot.
Assuming they choose to engage as well, though, even though they have what should be a tanky engaged him, they could still, without the right communication, if Nocturne goes too early, things can still go pear-shaped. But you're right, enough tanky members, enough tanky DPS, you'd think that they have a couple of redundancies to get in there and wreak havoc across this poke comp.
You talked about tanky items before. Do you like Satai's build here? He's actually going for, after Elevator's tier, he's gone to straight cost-effective tank items. He's got one Negative Work and one Chain Vest.
I think he'll end up with an Abyssal and a Glacial Shroud, so I don't think it's the worst thing. It's just, it just doesn't obviously give them extra damage output.
No, but I mean, do you think he needs to just kind of be tankier in this spot? He's got a lot of his damage here already with Royal Plus tier.
After the nerfs, I mean, you kind of have to as Rise because you're a very, very short-range caster.
You are, and there's the initiation. The Tide comes around the front. Chacho goes in as well. Illusion going straight for the carries. We're getting kited here. Rise though picks up Cho, so Bug is going to go down there. Jace now getting chased off. Room Prison though will secure his death, and that's 3 kills in fact there for IG. Almost the 4th there for Ezreal trying to chase down Victor under the turret. This is going to be an absolutely beastly push. Never mind, a beastly Baron fight. Oh, maybe not. Leona, no, she's going to Ward. They are going to go to Baron. IG.
And in that game of rock, paper, scissors, the engaged team definitely beat the poke team.
Yes. And, I mean, that's what we said they needed to do, and they're doing it. I mean, TF is going to get vision of this Baron, but he's kind of in range. Never mind. Too late there, Tyron. He tries. And that's a very low core Q. Valkyrie's out of the way.
Yeah, he could have even paid for that with his life. He's not getting this blue buff, that's for sure.
No. I think Tyron has to realize that I don't want to be here right now. And no, blue buff instead going to go to Jax. PDD.
I always fear when the push comp is slightly ahead or the poke comp is slightly ahead and they give up multiple kills and an objective for nothing. I always fear for whether they can really be in a position to poke down turrets again, because once this Nocturne ults up, he's got his 7-3-5 this Nocturne, Aegis, Hex Drinker, Wriggles, and a nice chunk of gold here. If he buys just a chunk of health here, I think he's going to be just ready to go. Just dive in and hope for the best.
We'll see what Nocturne buys up here. Warden's Mail. Not a poor choice by anybody's standards. Going to be finished with that
makes Corki, Cho, and Jace really sad.
Yeah, Jace to a lesser extent, but it's still good. Plenty of armor, decent bit of health, and a bit of CDR as well. Actually, once he kills.
Does Jace's W get affected by Warden's Mail? I assume it doesn't because it's a spell. That ability that gives him 3 auto attacks at 2.5 attack speed, basically.
Oh, Jace's hyperspeed? I think it.
I mean, it can't because it doesn't get well.
I'm not sure. Can it get reduced after it's maxed initially?
That's the question, I guess.
I don't know.
Does it always act at 2.5 attack speed?
I'm not sure. That's maybe some weird layering question we have to ask, what abilities applied
first.
This
is the part where I'm thinking too hard about League of Legends.
Quite possibly, but that's okay. That's what we love you for.
Now, Jax, from those items, it's very clear to see that he's got a hankering for a Guardian Angel. 700 gold away at this point.
No Magic Mantle plus Chain Vest there, comboing in for that one, and as you said, not too far away off that one. After his Trinity
Interesting to see he's gone down the Wriggles route now. I mean, a Vamp Scepter, very standard on Jax, but the Wriggles makes me think that, I guess it was for the objective control. I mean, it was up top against Jace, so I mean, it's a nice item in that regard. You don't see completed Wriggles from top laners that often anymore.
No, but I think Jax might be one of the champions who are still good on dive down the bottom lane as Illusion goes straight in there onto Victor. Taking a lot of damage, he still wants it, but True Chopper Rush will secure it. The counter gate coming in here from Tyron as he goes in. The bug is very low, Illusion's taking it up, Leona chasing him down as well, but Jace now coming around the side. And lots of back and forth here as Jace jumps straight onto Jace as well. Oh my goodness, the tie. Straight in there, just wants everybody. And
tanky beast.
So many towers being tanked here. I mean, this is kind of the benefit of IG's team. Not only do they have good champions to dive with, they've got so much health between most of them. Just so much meat to shield with, as it were. Really just able to take a lot of...
has turned the cost-effective defensive items into a full-on Abyssal.
Wow. And that's a great jump in power there for Zatai. And this is the Rise that teams want to see when they pick Rise. We kind of harped on Rise a little bit in the draft, because frankly we just haven't seen Rise that much recently, and when we have seen him he hasn't been that good, but he's looking like an absolute stroke of genius here this game for IG. Satai's he's had all the room in the world. Even though he's 4-5-7, he's actually still negative in terms of KDA. I guess depending on how you rate assists.
But when you're, when you have 10,000 gold, which both Rise and TF do, Rise starts to look good because he has those items that he needs. That ramp up time is very fast getting marginalized here. He's going to have a frozen heart soon. He's going to be at 40% CDR quite comfortably. A massive chunk of mana, and Rise just gets stronger. I mean, he doesn't get more range. That's probably the only shortcoming of Rise the Champion, is that short range. But man, he becomes a tanky damage beast.
He does, and that's kind of the thing is, you know, who's the better 10,000 gold champion? And I think it's Rise. You know, he just is better late game than TF in my opinion. Certainly in the comp that IG built for themselves.
I think I would be confident in saying that just because TF is not building towards the Lich Bane, and I think Lich Bane is the one thing that brings TF around as relevant once again in the late game, and he just is looking like he's going to pick up an Abyssal here, which is a decent pickup, but he really, really needs that Lich Bane.
I mean, if he goes Lich Bane though, that's just Glass Cannon. Do you risk a Glass Cannon build in this game? I mean, you need the damage.
Is there a big difference between, you know, the extra 27 magic resist that you get from Abyssal compared to Lich Bane though? I mean, if he gets jumped on by Rise or Jax or Nocturne or Leona or some combination, he's going to be dead anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I guess no, it's probably not worth it. I mean,
it's better to just get the Lich Bane proc off his W, stun someone, and then use the move speed that Lich Bane affords you to run away. Unfortunately,
yeah,
he's not going to be dueling anyone. The champs here.
Not really, no. I mean, TF is kind of an awkward champion to teamfight with in that sense. He's just the way his cooldowns and his abilities.
Well, he forces you to fight on uneven even footing, whether it's his ultimate, whether it's his his really, what's the word I'm looking for here? Obnoxious wild cards on their short cooldown. Oh wow, as the engage might come down here.
Very nice factory.
Not going for the full-on turret dive, it seems.
Illusional seemed pretty keen there, but doesn't go in there. So ult down for Nocturne, and here's the poke coming out from LGD. I mean, poke I think is at its best when you're pressuring the opponent on their towers, but if you're defending, it's not the worst thing in the world either, so that's certainly good news for LGD. As Tyrant continues to take down mini waves, there we are. There's so much wave clear. I mean, LGD...
TF fights a battle of attrition, I think, in team fights, just because he has a super useful Q and W on short cooldown.
I mean, yeah, he just very much kites back and forth in a 5v5. That's kind of why I use the word awkward, is that you just have to really know what's going on and kind of run back and forth, pick your right cards, pick your wild card ranges, go back there, throw them at the right angles, throw your pick your cards out on right targets, all those things. So he's great, and especially with the aforementioned Lich Bane, he does a lot of damage, but yeah, it's a bit wonky for Tyrant right now. I mean, I think if you're behind with a poke comp, that's probably not where you want to be, I think, as you said before. I think poke is at its best if you're even or ahead, but I think the most important thing is that you need to be pressuring your opponent. And right now, LGD just do not have room to be pressuring the enemy.
And I just think the most awkward thing is completing a poke comp against a Nocturne Jax. Like, Nocturne Jax, Nocturne especially, is not interested about what you're doing. He's just going to dive in and cause havoc. And the champ, if he can close the distance and get in there, he's the same. And Rise will follow up, Leona will follow up. They definitely have it aimed to counter a poke comp if they don't get too far behind, and right now they're ahead, which is a scary, scary proposition of LGD.
And to accentuate the dive potential as well, PDD has finished up his Guardian Angel, so he is going to be even more just balls to the wall, I guess. Relentless, absolutely reckless in team fights as this Jax. And here we go, we could have initiation kicking off. Nocturne does have ult. Leona tries to find a Soulfire, a great line there at the Tyrant, but a lot of poke damage coming through an Illusion. Can't quite find the right target there. Spell 2.
Silence was really big there from Bug.
Yeah, I mean, that's Cho, as you said, is kind of playing the role of Trundle did in traditional poke comp, sorry. And he really needs to hit his CC and kind of peel for his team in those situations, and he did then. But we are going to have, I think, a forced Baron here by IG. They'll be like, you know what, you want to poke us? Fine, we'll come to you. So we'll make you come to us.
Although they just have to be careful here because they've got some real tanky DPS surging them from the back.
Yep, oh great ult there from Pi again, making a great bit of play. But Illusion uses his ult kind of defensively. Now charges in the back on a Victor, but Valkyrie away there from Corki as well. And looks like Tyrant's actually getting dove upon there by Leona Ezreal. But the damage right now, the tanky DPS, proves way too much there for LGD.
And it was only Kid, the one non-tanky DPS, that really took any damage that fight. I mean, Rise was right in the middle of the fight. He was getting free hitted by a couple of people. He shrugged it off and just killed.
And Jax as well. Jax and Nocturne just dived straight into the middle, and there was not a whole lot that LGD could do there. So everything going right for IG in terms of, you know, how they built their team comps.
Well, the other thing about poke comps is that they don't fight at all well in narrow jungles, and if they don't have the vision advantage, and you force them into a fight in an awkward, narrow kind of crevice, man, the anti-carries got in there in melee range and just destroyed everyone.
And even though Pyle, you know, tried to make another play, he made a great flash shot in the first game, came up pretty nice on that one as well, but it just wasn't enough. And you know, you can't. You're poke comp. You're not designed to take advantage of a flash situation like that from Sono. I mean, it almost felt like a little bit of a, like just a desperation, I guess. And they really just wanted to try and find something there, try and pick somebody off, but it was not to be, sadly. And IG are looking very, very strong here in this game. I also hear a lot of chat, which is weird.
I was guessing maybe surrender, but I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Doesn't seem like it.
No, I mean, LGD, they've still got a chance here in this game, but the pressure and the positioning right now for IG looks very, very good. So they're going to be a pretty hard done by to try and close this game out here with a victory.
There was a 100 goal from Guardian Angel, and I think that might be the end of proceedings.
I think so. Oh, actually, did you get a red buff? That was cute. Nocturne there just held stop there, and the enemy ran, and Ezreal used his ultimate there to pick it up. That was really nice. He's got double buffs now as well. Ezreal's quite the carry with double buffs. So is Corki, actually. Certainly loves to spam those abilities if at all possible. Lots of damage there being taken for free though by Xiao Xiao. Does not want to give that away. The poke's still good here for LGD. I mean, if they can keep poking them down, they can maybe force them long enough to turtle up this Baron and then try and get back into the game from there. But I mean, the gold advantage right now, almost 10k in the lead for IG, and they're just in a great position here in this game. So it's gonna take a lot here from LGD, but they can do it. Just everything is kind of stacked against him at this point. You know, oh, never mind, Illusion goes straight into the mid. Tyrant there takes a lot of damage, gets absolutely popped there. The crescendo from Sono doesn't quite do enough there. Jace goes down as well. The Feast there comes out from Cho'Gath, but can't quite pick anybody off, and there's a 3-0. The champ with a double. Victor gets obliterated there, and Kid goes legendary 9-1-12 on Ezreal this game. And they just walk through 2 turrets to do that. That was fine. You know, Illusion is only initiated from behind your turret.
They tanked a third one too, the Nexus right turret.
Not a problem at all. And IG, I think at this point, they're probably going to have enough room to finish the game out. If not, just do absolutely crippling damage to the base.
And when you get the gold and when it all comes together, tanky DPS can really wreck through a poke comp, as we saw this game.
They can. I think it's kind of a great matchup. If you know what, this is kind of what's happened. These are the comps, and there it is. Good game, well played to IG. It's 1-1.